It gleamed in the sun ahead of a twisting haze of exhaust. It was very low, no more than 100 feet off the chop. "Rudder hard right, sir," the scared voice of the seaman apprentice behind the helm. The captain shouted over his shoulder, "Steady up short. Keep the launcher unmasked." "Aye, sir. Steady, 080. Crump, crump, crump. Behind them, dulled by the steel doors the boatswain had just slammed and dogged, they heard the chaff mortars fire. Given 10 seconds, their bloom of thousands of foil shreds would present the missile's radar with 6 or 8 false strongs. Given 12, their flares would ignite, pinpoint sources of intense heat to decoy away an infrared Homer. Through the glasses, the lieutenant could make out stubby fins. There might not be 12 seconds. In the Combat Information Center, aft and below the bridge, 6 men were already at radar scopes and weapons consoles. Sliding back into the chair he'd left to use the head, the electronic warfare petty officer, a 25-year-old from Sheboygan, froze as he recognized the pattern on his screen. Then he began punching buttons. He had 12 Soviet block threat profiles in the computer. What he saw matched none of them. "Cruise missile, unknown type," he shouted, bracing with one hand against the sudden heel. "I-band altimeter, H-band seeker, radar Homer, bearing 115, threat close." "Jam it!" shouted the captain, appearing at the bottom of the ladder from the bridge. "Rossetti, Sea Sparrow, 2-round engagement, now." "Point defense, locked on," shouted a chief. The tactical action officer lifted a red cover and stabbed the button beneath it. Through the muffled whine of turbines climbing to full power came a sudden, deafening roar. "Missile away!" shouted the chief. 2 seconds later, another roar shuddered the plates and dwindled away. The captain said rapidly, "Mitch, do a 360 search. Look for the launching platform. Get me a range and bearing." He reached for a handset and began barking at the gunnery officer. On the radar, a first-class OS from Baltimore leaned to watch 2 pulses of light move away from the center of the screen, so rapidly they jumped outward with each sweep. The lead one reached the incoming missile. "CIC, bridge. Warhead detonation to starboard. Looked close. Wait a second. No, he just came out of the smoke. Target still incoming." The TAO reached instantly for the refire button, but before his hand reached it, the chief said, 6,000 yards, sir. It's inside minimum range." "Second round intercepts now." The GQ bell started ringing. The metallic voice of the announcing system said, all over the ship, General quarters, no drill. Missile incoming, starboard side." "Terminal seeker locked on," said the 25-year-old. His eyes blasted wide as he stared into the green flicker on his screen. He turned up the speaker, and the high-pitched whine of the lock-on jerked everyone's head toward it. "CIC, bridge," said the suddenly empty voice of the lieutenant above them. "Our second round went right by it. Still boosting. Couldn't have been 20 feet apart, but no burst. It's coming right down our throat." The captain barked into the phone. "What's the problem with the fucking 5-inch? We've got ammo at the transfer train now. Maybe 15, 20 more seconds, sir." The captain stopped thinking. He put out his hand to the bulkhead and bent his knees slightly. There was nothing else left to do. The 13-foot-long missile's starboard wing root had been punctured by the expanding rod warhead of the first anti-aircraft round. This slowed it from .89 to .80 Mach, but the guidance computer trimmed to correct for the off-center drag, and it steadied again. Now, in the last seconds of its flight, its discrimination circuits evaluated and then disregarded the still expanding chaff clouds. It had picked up the ship's radar and homed on it for 4 seconds, but now it ignored that too, and for the last mile locked on the plume of heat blasting out of the frigate's stack.